Hello and happy day. Have you reminded yourself to slow down today, to reduce the noise, to listen? My name is Igor S.F. Walker, and I'm here to remind people to slow down, to reduce the noise, to walk their lives into a natural flow. Welcome back to the Book of the Week series. Every week, as I read another amazing title, I share it with the world. Today, we look at Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. The courage to be vulnerable is not about winning or losing. It is about the courage to show up when you can't predict or control the outcome. If you choose courage, you will absolutely know failure, disappointment, setback, even heartbreak. This is why we call it courage. This is why it's so rare. Brene defines a leader as anyone who takes responsibility for finding the potential in people and processes and who has the courage to develop that potential. We know that the way to move information from your head to your heart is through your hands. What stands in the way becomes the way. We need braver leaders and more courageous cultures. Just under a half of the leaders Brene interviewed initially talked about courage as a personality trait, not a skill. Just over 80% of the leaders, including those who believed that courage is behavioral, couldn't identify a specific skill. However, they could immediately and passionately talk about problematic behaviors and culture norms that corrode trust and courage. Here are 10 behaviors and cultural issues that leaders identified as getting in our way in organizations across the world. We avoid tough conversations, including giving honest, productive feedback. Rather than spending a reasonable amount of time proactively acknowledging and addressing the fears and feelings that show up during change and upheaval, we spend an unreasonable amount of time managing problematic behaviors. Diminishing trust caused by lack of connection and empathy. Not enough people are taking enough smart risks or creating and sharing bold ideas to meet changing demands and the insatiable need for innovation. We get stuck and defined by setbacks, disappointments, and failures. Too much shame and blame and not enough accountability and learning. People are opting out of vital conversations about diversity and inclusivity because they fear looking wrong, saying something wrong, or even being wrong. When something goes wrong, individuals and teams are rushing into ineffective or unsustainable solutions rather than staying with the problem identification and solving. Organizational values are gauzy and assessed in terms of aspirations rather than actual behaviors that can be thought, measured, and evaluated. Perfectionism and fear are keeping people from learning and growing. A rumble is a discussion, conversation, or meeting defined by a commitment to learn, to lean into vulnerability, and to stay curious and generous. To stick with the messy, middle of the problem identification and solving, to take a break and circle back when necessary, to be fearless in owning our parts, and as psychologist Harriet Lerner teaches, to listen with the same passion with which we want to be heard. Courage is a collection of 4 skill sets that can be taught, observed, and measured. They are rumbling with vulnerability, living into our values, braving trust, and learning to rise. Our ability to be a daring leader will never be greater than our capacity for vulnerability. Learning gritty faith and gritty facts, we all work to take responsibility for both dreaming and reality checking those dreams with facts. We must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever that might be. In the past, jobs were about muscles, now they're about brains, but in the future, they will be about the heart. We're not here to fit in, be well balanced, or provide an example to others. We're here to be eccentric, different, perhaps even strange, just merely to add our own small piece of our clunky, chunky selves to the great mosaic of being. As the gods intended, we're here to become more and more ourselves. Here are some examples of armored leadership versus daring leadership. Armored leadership, leading from the hurt. Daring leadership, leading from the heart. Armored leadership, zigzagging and avoiding. Daring leadership, taking straight, talking straight, thinking straight, and taking action. Armored leadership, tolerating discrimination, echo chambers, and fitting in culture. Daring leadership, cultivating a culture of belonging, inclusivity, and diverse thinking. Armored leadership, hustling for your worth. Daring leadership, knowing your value. Armored, using power over. Daring, using power with, power to, and power within. Armored leadership, being a knower and being right. Daring leadership, being a learner and getting it right. Armored, hiding behind criticism versus daring, modeling clarity, kindness, and hope. And armored leadership, rewarding exhaustion as a status symbol and attaching productivity to self-worth versus daring leadership, modeling and supporting rest, play, and recovery. Like all of us, most of the daring, transformational leaders have overcome hurtful experiences from childhood illnesses and painful family histories to violence and trauma. Many are in the middle of deep struggles like marriages that are failing, children in rehab, or health crisis. The difference between leading from the hurt and leading from the heart is not what you've experienced, what are currently experiencing. It is what you do with that pain and that hurt. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you have enjoyed this video, please do like it, share it with the world, subscribe to my channel, and you can find a direct link to this book in the description below. So get it and read. Thank you. Love and respect.